Well, let's dive into it. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me on the line, the legendary Don McLean is on there. How you doing, Don?
I'm doing very well, thank you. I
Eh,
have to go to an eye appointment soon.
You know what? Of all the doctors, the eye doctor is the one I don't mind.
I think I agree. That's the only reason I'm going.
The other ones always seem to have bad news for me.
No,
This
I don't want to know that. I don't want to know bad news. That's
I
right.
know, right? Well,
You're absolutely correct.
we'll get you to your eye appointment. No worries. We got a new
Yes,
album out, American Boys. You're going back on
right.
tour. Have you ever thought about slowing down, Don?
No, not really. I love what I do. I mean, I love making records. I don't love writing songs, but I love it when they're done and I'm happy with them. Then I'm really happy about it, but doing it is really hard for me. I'm so deeply into the whole thing now, having been around for more than 50 years, and I've seen so much and I ended up accumulating so many things that I've done that it is amazing. I feel like singing My Way to Think I Did All That. And then I say, wow, I did do a lot of stuff. I didn't, but it's because you go. The key to me and the most wonderful gift that I was ever given in my life was that I knew that I could only go in one direction, do one thing that I wanted to do. I wanted to make records, later on write songs and make records, sing and perform, and travel. And I was right off the bat, I was made an international singing star. So right off the bat, I played all the biggest halls of the world, and I've been doing it ever since. And that's really all I wanted to do, because I love getting my ideas out on records, and they stay there forever. And if you do it right, they're timeless. Even movies, you can tell what the time period is, by the type of telephone the guy uses or whatever. Records don't have that. They're just timeless.
Don McLean on the line with me right now. The new album is out, American Boys. This is the first one in about 4 years. When did the process for this start, and what was kind of the idea going into it?
Well, the idea was I was not going to make any more records, and
Oh, really?
and then I made pretty much Botanical Gardens. I thought was a really good record, and that was about it for me. And then Vip Vipperman, my guitar player, who also writes songs, said, we were in the pandemic, nobody's doing anything. Said, I got a song here, a song or two. I can't finish it. I don't know. I've had it around. You want to try to fool with it? I said, sure. That started it. I finished that, and then did 5 songs with him, and then I did another 5 or 6 songs with myself, and made the tracks and did the vocals and just kept working on it. No pressure. Nobody. There's a
Yeah.
lot of other stuff going on, so I was working on it. Now the record company loved the record, and everybody's talking about different songs on this record. So, and it rocks. She rocks. A lot of guitars, and it kicks ass. Really good drums and bass, and it's good to listen to.
Don McLean on the line with me right now. So Botanical Gardens was supposed to be the last one.
Well, I mean, I didn't have any desire to continue making
Okay.
records because there's so many of them out there. And by the way, this same company, it's a very good little company that's putting this record out, is also going to release 15 more of my albums
Oh, cool.
that I own. Yeah, on CD and vinyl. They're all coming out. Things like the Western album and the Children's album. Don McLean sings Marty Robbins, and some of the earlier Nashville things that had hits on them, like the Believers album, the Chain Lightning album. They're all coming out again.
When can we expect that?
7 this year and 7 next year.
Okay. All right. That's
or
awesome.
8 next year.
That's great. Don McLean on the line with me right now. How did you get hooked up with Home Free for American Boys? Was that your idea
Well,
or
they
someone
did
else's?
No, they did. I don't have ideas anymore. I sit around and wait for people to call me. They said, Kurt Webster in Nashville said, we want to do American Pie with these guys. They're a very popular vocal group. I said, okay. So I went in and we did it. It turned out to be a big, big hit with the country crowd. And so they did Vincent. And then when this album came out, I said, well, get the boys in to do some background vocals for me. So they did. So now we featured them on here. They have a wonderful fan base, and they're terrific guys, too.
Don McLean on the line with me right now as we talk about the new album and what else is going on in your life. Tours coming up. You got the backlog getting ready to come out again. What else is going on in Don's life?
Well, Dawn just got back from the White House. I was invited, my girlfriend and I, Paris Dunn, were invited to be guests to the state dinner for the head of Kenya, and we were there, and we have a lot of stuff going on. There's a new children's book, which will be called Vincent, which comes out after The American Pie of Fable, and there'll be 3 more of those. We are looking at a Broadway show using all of my songs. Can you see on the marquee, American Pie? Can't you see that as a Broadway show? Oh, my God. And you just go in and tell the old story over and over again, the newspaper boy, the Buddy Holly, the whole thing with the songs to go with it. So that's the kind of thing. And you never know what somebody's going to come up with. And then if this album starts to take off, then the touring will go nuts. Then I won't be able to have time to do anything for a couple of years. I'll be really very busy with that.
Go back real quick. How was the day at the White House?
Well, it's always very thrilling, and they pull out all the stops. There's string orchestras everywhere, and
wow,
and people saluting you, and all sorts of military stuff, and they bring you into a gigantic, really greenhouse that's the size of like a football field.
Uh-huh.
And it has chandeliers hanging, and tables are all beautifully set with fine china and gold silverware. That's funny. Gold eating utensils, gold plated, made in China. I noticed. I checked that out. I said, wow, gold plated in the White House is from China. So there you go. That says it all. Anyway, yeah. And then they have the president's musicians. They're really good orchestra. They did strings, and they provided beautiful music, and they brought on the Howard University choir that sang a beautiful thing. And then they had Brad Paisley, who entertained everybody for about 5 or 6 tunes. He was very witty and did a good job. So we had all kinds, and this was a crazy night. But, I don't know anybody, and I get bored with cocktail chatter. I think I will not be part of their cocktail generation. I think I said that, so I said it was time for me to go. So my beautiful doll and I, we took great pictures for everybody, and then we split. That was it.
So were you there you were just a guest, or did you have a function there? How did you get on this particular list?
No, I was like everybody else. I had no function. I was invited because I guess they wanted me. And so I was Sean Penn was there. He had no function either. And there were other people that had no function. And they're just supposed to sit there and eat and make a small talk with people that you don't know and have nothing in common with. It's an interesting exercise. And if you want to be successful in the corporate world, then you have to learn how to do these things and do them and make it sound like it's a wonderful, enjoyable thing, which for me it was, because I'm not in the corporate world.
Yeah.
So I was enjoying the way it was all set up and how everybody was doing things, and I enjoyed it immensely, and I was delighted to have been invited, and I thank the Biden administration for doing that. So my girlfriend and I had a wonderful, wonderful time.
What was the best dish of the day? Sorry, I'm stuck on this White House thing. It's just kind of fascinating. They just invited you there.
Fine. No. You ask me anything you want. Lobster.
Lobster. Oh, nice. That's not a bad night out.
And it was done well. Everything was done properly. It was, but it's wild when you see you've got like 500 people they got to feed, and all of a sudden these people come from nowhere, and they've all got plates in their hands, and it's warm, so they got to get it to people,
Yeah.
And they're from all over the place, and the security is fascinating. When you go to the bathroom, in the back, it's all like beautiful drapes that are maroon and lit and everything. But then there's like a wall. Behind the wall, there are like 50 of the most heavily guarded people there. They're checking every single thing. Computers. They've got the headphones on. They got guns.
Yeah.
I mean, you could imagine if somebody got in that room. They had the Clintons, the Obamas, and the Bidens, and half of Biden's family were in there. And my God, if they had ever, so they were really, but very subtle, well done. You didn't feel like, I felt when I would go to Manila or Northern Ireland or something. No, this is very nicely done, and everybody had a wonderful time, and the moonlight was coming in, through the ceiling, which was glass, and the stars and everything, and so I felt good about the whole thing. It was enjoyable.
There you go. Don McLean on the line with me right now. American Boys is out now. We'll have all the details at the bottom of the page. Don, thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it. It's been fascinating. I know we talked about a little bit of everything, but it's absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, well, I answer all questions, and I will also take all awards, and I will go to any state dinners in the future from any party. Anything you give me, I'll take. That's how I feel about this at this point in my life.
Oh, that's awesome. Don McLean, everybody. Thank you so much, sir.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.